Hey guys, it's Splatoon here, and boy, it's been a while, but it's time to get the analysis going once again, this time for the Heavy Splatling, and we'll be taking a look at both variants this time, so let's get started. The Heavy Splatling, for its intimidating appearance, is actually a very low damage weapon, dealing about 28 damage up close while dropping off to about 21 at its maximum effective distance. It is criminally low for being an all-powerful minigun, but thankfully its range and rate of fire are excellent, and the mobility of the Heavy Splatling is also all around average, so all in all, your time to kill is going to be moderate to slow depending on your aim. Speaking of aim, the accuracy of the Heavy Splatling is honestly only okay, and the time to get a full charge in is very slow to make matters worse. So this weapon is best used for medium to long ranges, but do not underestimate it at close range however, as there is no damage penalty for not getting a full charge in, and you won't need much of a charge up to obtain a kill in close quarters anyway, so don't be afraid to let whatever form of a charge you have go in close range, as it might just save your life. The Heavy Splatling is best used for defensive roles and supportive roles, however it's best to avoid sticking to just one of these roles during a match, as chargers outclass you defensive wise, and squelchers and other support weapons compete for the role as a supporter very heavily. As such, it is best to switch between these roles in response to your team, enemy team, game mode, and of course your current maps on rotation. Your splash walls and crack you give you an answer to defend yourself from opponents who get a little too close for comfort, while your ink strikes and point sensors help you and your team push for coordinated attacks. Despite its range, the Heavy Splatling gets almost completely shut down by enemy chargers such as the Splat Charger or E-Leader, and it tends to have difficulties in close quarters against weapons like the 52 Gal or Carbon Roller respectively. So highly offensive shooters and pressure tools make great partners for the Heavy Splatling, as they can afford to get as close as they want to and pressure the enemy to let the Heavy Splatling perform its tasks safely. In terms of optimal perks, in my opinion, both variants of the Heavy Splatling like to have very different things. The standard likes to have a good balance of run speed, ink recovery, and damage up, as the mobility of the Heavy Splatling is not exactly terrible, and the damage up makes each shot count more on defensive up opponents, which also tend to cause a little bit of trouble for the Heavy Splatling. In addition, the damage up also gives your Heavy Splatling a little bit more of an offensive punch. For the Deco variant, it likes to have a maximum swim speed to make your Kraken as deadly as possible, along with special charge up and or run speed for the mobility and quicker gain of your special. Other useful perks for both variants of the Heavy Splatling include quick super jump, special saver, and ink resistance, mainly to help you out when you inevitably get stuck in enemy ink without a decent charge to escape, as I find myself either forced to spawn jump or face death whenever I got stuck in enemy ink without a decent charge or a teammate for an escape option, so having these perks makes the prospect of retreating or even dying seem slightly less like a drag. The Heavy Splatling is a weapon that I feel performs well in most ranked game modes, but is weakest in Splat Zones and Rainmaker, but thankfully not very much so, as the Heavy Splatling has a very hard time pushing out once it gets pinned down, and it is prone to being pressured and forced to retreat quite often. So having excellent coordination with your team is going to be a major factor in how well you can perform with the Heavy Splatling. If you're looking for a weapon that is tailored for defensive roles, supportive roles, and can attack opponents from a relatively safe distance, a Heavy Splatling may be for you. If you're not looking for a weapon that is weak in close range, at extremely long ranges, is prone to being pressured or pinned down, and that takes some practice to get the hang of, a Heavy Splatling may not be best for you. Well guys, that's all I really have for today's video. As always, if you like this video, share it to 10 of your friends. They may just learn something new after all. But until then, I'll catch you guys soon in the next video, so take care and have a good one. Peace out.